In this video we're going to have a look at how to analyse more complicated circuits in A-level physics. Now let's suppose we're trying to analyse this circuit here. Now in this circuit here we've got a fixed resistor of 50 ohms in the middle, and we have two power supplies, two batteries. There is a 9-volt battery on the left and a 7-volt battery on the right, and they're arranged like this. Now, if we want to know the current through the 50 ohm resistor, this could be quite involved. In order to calculate the current, there are two ways of doing it. One way is to use simultaneous equations, and the other way is to use the principle of superposition. And we can use superposition because all these components are nice and linear, they're fixed resistors, and so on. So let's do our analysis the long way first. Let's do our simultaneous equations approach. So in the simultaneous equations approach, you can see there's going to be quite a lot of working. I've drawn the circuit here, and what I've got is the first equation. Let's get my highlighter pen out. The first equation here is simply Kirchhoff's first law. This is adding together the current passing through this branch to the current passing through this branch to calculate what the current is passing down this central part here. And if I draw on this with a nice big red pen, the current passing through here plus the current passing through there should equal the current passing down here. Now we might have a circuit where the directions aren't quite right, but actually that doesn't matter. We can still use this approach. For simplicity, I've labelled the current passing through the 100 ohm resistor I subscript 100, the current passing through the 200 ohm resistor I subscript 200, and the current passing through the 50 ohm resistor I subscript 50. So this is Kirchhoff's first law. The next two equations here are Kirchhoff's second law. And for these two, what I've done is I've analysed the loops, two loops in this circuit. I've started with this loop, and I've said that if you follow around this loop here, we pick up 9 volts, so that's positive 9, and then subtract the potential difference across the 100 ohm resistor, which I'm calling V subscript 100, and subtract the potential difference across the 50 ohm resistor, so subtract V100. According to Kirchhoff's second law, that should equal 0 because energy is conserved. And I've looked at the second loop here as well. And there is a third loop around the outside loop, but you can actually just get to that by simply adding these two equations together. So, or subtracting them, should I say. Anyway, so we've got our two loops, and because of that, we've got our Kirchhoff's second law, V200, V50, and so on. Now, these are simultaneous equations because the V50 here, in this equation, is the same as the V50 in this equation. They have to be exactly the same equation. Wouldn't work otherwise. So let's scroll down and see what happens. Well, the first step, in fact, I won't scroll down. I'll leave it so you can see everything on the screen at the same time, as much as possible. The first step, I've used the definition of resistance, so V equals IR. And this here, 100, is the resistance of the 100 ohm resistor, times the current passing through the 100 ohm resistor is equal to the potential difference across the 100 ohm resistor. So that is just V equals IR applied to the 100 ohm resistor. Then we've got V equals IR applied to the 200 ohm resistor and V equals IR applied to the 50 ohm resistor. Fine. Then what I've done is I have substituted these equations here, these three, into the two equations above. So instead of 9 subtract V100, it's 9 subtract 100 I subscript 100. And then subtract, not V50 as it was before, now it's subtract 50 times I50. And all of that equals 0. So this equation here is the same equation as this one, except I've substituted to replace the V100 and the V50. And I've done exactly the same thing here for the 7 volt loop here, and this is the equation I get over here. Okay, fine. So we've got two equations now, but there's still three unknowns in those two equations. You know, with simultaneous equations, you can only solve them if you have the same number of equations as we've got unknowns. Well, we have, because we've also got this equation all the way up here, which we've kind of forgotten about, that we can use as well. So I've taken the equation here, and I've rearranged it to make I100 the subject. I've taken this equation here, and I've rearranged it to make I200 the subject. And then I've substituted the I100 into the top equation, and substituted the I200 into the top equation. And that will give me an equation which only has I50 in it. So you can see that here. This is the first part, the I100, sorry, this is the I200, and add them together you get I50. And the rest is just algebra. So 9 divided by 100, subtract 50 divided by 100. Well, 50 divided by 100 is just a half, so I just changed that. Plus 7 divided by 200, subtract 50 divided by 200. Well, 50 divided by 200 is just a quarter, so I just changed that. Then I added a half I50 and a quarter I50 to both sides of the equation, and ended up with 7 quarters of I50 here on the right hand side, and just these fractions on the left hand side. Make I50 the subject, chuck it in your calculator, you get 71.4 milliamps. Okay, well, that's fine, and it took a lot of work, and there's a lot of scope for mistakes. I'm just going to double check this on this circuit. 71.4 milliamps. 71.4 milliamps is what it says when I hover the cursor over that middle branch. Super. So that's fine. The problem is it took quite a lot of work, and it's easy to make a mistake when you're doing simultaneous equations with so many equations. So there must be a better way. Well, I don't know about better, but there is a quicker way perhaps, and that is to break the circuit into two smaller circuits for each of the power supplies. So the top circuit, all I've done is replace the 9-volt power supply with a wire. And then what I've done here is I've replaced the 7-volt power supply with a wire. So you can see these two are sort of the same circuit as we had before, it's just I've replaced each of the power supplies in turn. If you've got a constant current supply, then you can do the same thing as this, but you replace it with an open circuit rather than a short circuit. But for a constant potential difference supply, which is what this is, because these power supplies have no internal resistance, so a constant potential difference supply, well, in that case, we're going to replace one of the power supplies with a wire. If I had 3 power supplies, I'd end up building 3 circuits, and so on. So I can do some analyses on this quite easily. I mean, I could just hover my cursor around here and see that's 20 milliamps passing down that branch, and this one here is 51.4 milliamps, and 51.4 milliamps plus 20 milliamps is 71.4 milliamps, which is exactly what we had before. But let's analyze it properly. So switch off that screen. Let's analyze it properly. So here's the first circuit. You can see it there. The resistance, very easy to calculate. What I did is I took these 3 resistors. I recognized that the 100 ohm is in parallel with the 50 ohm. And so the reciprocal of the sum of the reciprocals of those resistances is the equivalent resistance. And those two are in series. That parallel branch here is in series with this 200 ohm resistor. So it's just 200 plus the reciprocal of the sum of the reciprocals. And you chuck that in your calculator, you get 233.3. There is a recurring dot, but we won't be using that in physics. So that's the resistance, the equivalent resistance between this point on the circuit here and this point on the circuit down here, between those 2 points. But with a 7-volt supply, that means we've got 30 milliamps passing through the supply. V equals IR rearranged to make I the subject. So that's 30 milliamps passing through the supply. That's 30 milliamps passing through here, through here, through here, and there's a branch. And we could do a simple current divider here. We've got two resistors. We know that we're going to get more current passing through the branch with less resistance, but it's not just that. The ratio of the currents is the inverse of the ratio of these resistances. So because this resistance is twice that, it's going to get half the current passing through it. So that means that passing through this resistor, remember that's the one we're interested in, is going to be 100 divided by the sum of these two. And that'll tell you the current passing through this. So it's a current divider. And we end up with 20 milliamps. If we do the same thing for the other circuit, so now we've got a combined resistance. This is parallel with this. So 100 plus the reciprocal of the sum of the reciprocals to get the effective resistance between this point and this point. When you do that calculation, it's 140 ohms. We're then going to calculate the current passing through the power supply, 9 divided by 140. That's going to then pass through this resistor, and then, there's a branch. It splits. Again, current divider. This has got much lower resistance. It's going to get much more current, but the current it gets is going to be the inverse of the ratio of those resistances. So 200 divided by 250, 250 being the sum of these resistances, that's going to be 51.4 milliamps passing down through this branch here. And then the final step is we simply add together the 20 milliamps to the 51.4 milliamps. Now we can do that because these circuits are simple linear circuits, and so we can superposition one circuit with the other. And that is how to use the principle of superposition. Certainly speeds up things with circuits with multiple power supplies. And it's a lot easier to do this than it is to do all of this. Well, I think it is anyway. You're less likely to make a mistake. Just be cautious. You can't really do this with non-linear components. You can't do this with diodes, for example, which I don't think you can. If I were to chuck a cheeky little diode in this circuit, for example, and look what the effect is, the current down the middle, 67.3. Remember that number? Hold that number in your head. Let's break it into two separate circuits. So here they are, my two separate circuits, where I've replaced the power supplies with wires. And here I've got 28. Here I've got 47.3. Well, 28 plus 47.3 is 75.3. 75.3 milliamps. Well, that is not the same as 67.3. They're different numbers. And that's superposition.